Hey Sam, here's the rent money from this month.
This is the rent money from last month. Wow, this is a lot of money. In this video, we're going to talk about how much money we collect on our 115 rental doors. We're going to talk about the gross all the way down to the net, so you guys know exactly how much we make. See you in a second. In the past 5 years, we've bought 115 rental properties. Now that's great, but with 115 rental properties, there comes a ton of expenses. We have a lot of expenses every single month that we have to cover before we make any profit. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how much rent we collect to cover all those expenses and let you see exactly how much is left over for the end, how much money we actually have in our pocket. Now this is not real money. Sorry to bust your bubble. These are fake dollars, but let's get rolling. We're going to talk about some common expenses that come out of cash flow every single month, because what you collect every single month from your tenants is not your net cash flow. When someone says cash flow, it needs to be how much cash they're putting in their pocket after all their expenses are paid. So we're going to go into that. We're going to talk about the expenses here quickly, and then we're going to talk about how much money we actually collect. Spoiler alert, there's 6 digits in the number. Let's talk about the expenses now. Owning rental properties is extremely exciting. It's a great way to create long-term wealth through owning real estate. What is that saying? 90% of people became millionaires through owning real estate. Not after they became millionaires, they bought real estate. They became millionaires through real estate, and that is true with me. So it's exciting to own rentals, but it's important to understand what goes into cash flow. If you're buying a rental property every single month and you are not covering your expenses, your rent does not cover your expenses, then it is not a good investment. You are paying every single month into something that is not an investment. When that asset or that investment pays you, aka cash flow, positively, then it is an investment. In 2018, we added 63 doors. So we were growing so fast, we did not know if we were cash flowing positively a lot. We knew we were collecting rent every month, but we didn't know all of our expenses to know if we were actually making money every month, if we were breaking even, or if we were losing. So luckily in the last couple of years, we really dialed down our systems, dialed down our tracking, dialed down our expense management, and now we know exactly how much rent we collect every month versus exactly how much expenses go towards each property. So let's get into those expenses now, because it's extremely important to know all expenses that come out of your property every month so you actually know what you cash flow. So this way, when you're evaluating the property in the first place, you can see what you think it's going to rent for, and you can know what your expenses are going to be, so you know if it cash flows or not, so you know if you should buy it or not. So let's talk about expenses now. The first expense you have to account for every month is the mortgage. Most people do not own the rental properties outright. We don't own any of ours outright currently. We buy everything through the BRRRR method, the BRRRR strategy. This video above really goes into detail about what the BRRRR method and BRRRR strategy is. It's a way to buy real estate without using any of your own money. So after this video, make sure to check that out. But the fact that you own a property and have a note on the property, a mortgage on the property, you have to pay that mortgage every single month. So your mortgage is just like your mortgage on your personal house. You have principal and interest every single month that you have to pay. Your mortgage is usually your biggest expense every month, so make sure to calculate it. Let's talk about your second expense. The second expense, and usually a pretty big one, is real estate taxes. You have to pay it at the end of the year. In most cases, it's not escrowed every single month like your personal house mortgage is. Your taxes, you're gonna have to pay at the end of the year, by the end of the year, and they're usually a pretty big expense. So you need to accrue for that every single month. So we're gonna go over an example of what cash flow looks like with rent minus all the expenses and what cash flow looks like. So we're gonna go over an example of that here in a minute, and then we're gonna talk about how much rent we collect every single month and then how much it nets down to. But you have to account for your real estate taxes that you have to pay at the end of the year. Number 3 is insurance. You want the property insured, and your lender will require for the property to be insured. So you have to have the property insured. Now there's different insurance brokers and different insurance agents that you can go to get insurance on investment properties. Not every big company has products that fit rental property needs. So just go out, reach out to your local real estate investors and talk to other people that have insurance on investment properties, and talk to those agents as opposed to just an agent that doesn't have the product that works best for rental properties. Look at that, I spelled it right. All right, number 4 is maintenance. This is something you have to accrue for every month. We teach buying rentals through the BRRRR method, like I mentioned earlier, so our properties are just most recently rehabbed, so there's not a ton of maintenance. That's one of the benefits of rehabbing your rental property before you get it rented, but you're going to have maintenance. You might go 4 months without spending a dime on maintenance, but then something big is going to hit. Something happens in the property that it needs maintenance. We put $150 a month aside for maintenance. Now, we don't spend that every single month, but some months we spend way more than that, and some months we don't spend any. So you need to account for maintenance in your cash flow. So the 5th expense that you need to account for every single month is vacancy. We usually do 5%. Most people in that 5 to 10% of gross rent collected is your vacancy that you need to take out of your cash flow every month, because you usually have your property rented for a year to 2 years on a lease. You have to account for vacancy. You have your property rented for 12 months or 24 months in a row, but eventually the tenant is going to move out, and there's not going to be another tenant that moves in the very next day. We try to keep it under 3 weeks from a tenant moving out to the next tenant moving in. So that's 3 weeks that you're not collecting rent, so you need to accrue for that and your yearly cash flow to be accurate. If you don't accrue for that month or maybe month and a half that you're not collecting rent, you're not accurately portraying actual cash flow that you're getting. The 6th and final major expense that you need to account for is your property management. It costs money to manage the property. Now, a lot of people do all that themselves at first, so some people don't include this in their cash flow because they're just working for free basically, so they're not paying themselves and they're not accruing for that. But if you want to do it properly, you probably should be at least paying yourself or accounting to pay somebody else in the future if you're going to hire that property management out. And that's taking care of leasing, taking care of managing the maintenance, taking care of a lot of different things, managing the property. All right, we're gonna do an example. We're gonna show what these costs in our area, and it's probably pretty similar in area. Some things that may be different in some areas are definitely the real estate taxes, but the mortgage are the mortgages. The insurance might vary, but it's pretty similar in most areas. Maintenance should be pretty similar. Vacancy and property management should all be pretty similar. So the only one that varies, certain states have more taxes than other states. So that's the only thing that will vary. But other than that, you can plug and play your own numbers in this to make sense, to see why when we say we cash flow around 200 to 250 bucks a door, that doesn't sound like a lot, but a lot comes out of it, and it's the actual true net that we take home. So let's go over an example of our most recent rental. All right, let's go over an example of our most recent rental. These are real numbers on our most recent rental property. It's rented for $12.50 a month. Now let's go over what are these expenses and show you our actual net cash flow at the end that we put in our pocket every single month. So the mortgage on this house is $560 a month. So as you can see, it's our biggest expense. The real estate taxes broken out monthly is $133 a month, comes out of that. Insurance is $46 a month. Like I said earlier, we take out $150 a month for maintenance. Vacancy is 5% of that $12.50, which is $62. So we take $62 a month out of that every single month. And then property management, last but not least, we take $100 a month out. Do the math on all that, and so every single month, $1,051 come out of expenses. So as you can see, it's basically $200, which is our bottom line that we shoot for every single month. These are the basic 6 expenses that come out. You need to account for these every single month when you're running your cash flow numbers, because for the most part, maintenance is going to stay in your account. Vacancy is going to stay in your account. Insurance comes out every month, but taxes you have to accrue. So for a lot of this stuff, your bank account may look better than your actual net cash flow is, because eventually you're gonna have to pay some money for maintenance and you're gonna have to pay your taxes. So if you look at your account, it looks like it's growing much more than $200 a month per property, but at the end of the day and at the end of the year, you're going to have a bunch of expenses that you're gonna have to spend. So make sure you know your numbers when you're doing your cash flow. Next, we're gonna talk about I'm gonna erase this and we're gonna talk about our gross rent collected, and we're gonna minus out the expenses in general and show you how much we net. All right, here's how much money we collected last month. Last month, we collected $112,000 in rent Now we have a ton of expenses that come out. We're not going to go into detail on every expense because I just went through it, but I know what the ended up net number being and how much expenses we had last month. So last month we had about $90,000 in expenses that came out. So that was us accruing for all the stuff we talked about. We have some people that pay. We have a bookkeeper, we have a CPA, we have people on staff that we pay insurance and benefits to. So we have more expenses. The fact that this is a little bit bigger of a rental portfolio, a little bit bigger of a company. Most people that have a little bit smaller or are just getting started out aren't going to quite have as many expenses as we have, but we're pretty hands off. We don't spend much time at all in our rental portfolio, so that's the benefit. As you can see, let's do the math. This is how much we collected last month. That's our cash flow. So last month we collected a little over $22,000 net after everything in cash flow after 115 properties. Now, maybe a little smaller than you're thinking, but it's a real number and these are actual legitimate numbers. Most people that say they cash flow $300-400 a month are not accounting for all those expenses that we account for or don't have people on staff like we do. So there's our number. We were really happy with that. We'd love to be anywhere around that $20,000. Financial freedom to me is when your expenses every single month, everything that comes out of your checking account or out of your savings account every single month is more than covered by the money that you passively collect through owning rental property, if that makes sense. So we collect a little over $22,000 a month in rent, and I have a partner, so we split that. So Luke's and I each take home $11,000 a month in rent. And if our expenses are less than that, then we're financially free. If our expenses are more than that, you just have to buy enough rental properties to collect enough to cover your expenses every single month. So Lucas and I are passively right at that financial freedom number. If we were to spend any amount of time in our business and we didn't have to hire it out, we would collect a lot more money every month. But I spend an hour a week on my rental portfolio. So if I were to want to collect more, then I would just have to not have as many people on staff and do a little bit of the work myself and we could collect even more. But we are not doing barely anything in our rental portfolio besides buying new properties. All the cash flow they get, we put back in the company because we each have full-time jobs for our active income. Our house buying company that buys 200 houses a year. So we're pretty busy doing that every single year, every single week, every single month. But this money that we make from rental portfolios, we're just dumping back into the property so we can grow faster and have more money saved up, because our goal is to have $100 million in rentals in the next 8 years. I'm 32 years old. My goal is to have $100 million. So I got 89 million more to go over the next several years. So the only way to grow that quickly is to keep dumping money back into the business and not pulling money out and starving the business. We want to have as much cash as we can in the bank to be able to take advantage of whatever's next. And people that don't have cash, when things do turn or make the market dips at all, those people get hurt. The people that do have cash take advantage of that situation and grow even more. If you got any value out of this at all, I really would appreciate you subscribing to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. We also go live once a week, so you definitely want to get notified when we go live so we can interact. You can ask me questions live and I'll gladly respond to them. If you don't catch it live, please make sure to comment on all our videos. I'm the one that answers all the videos, all the comments. I personally do that. So if you have any questions about real estate investing or just want to give us a thumbs up, or we would appreciate any interaction on there at all, because the dang algorithm seems to like that. So please subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell so you can interact together and I can help you grow. Or if you're watching the video up to this point, you definitely saw some value, and I got a couple bonuses for you for watching this long. So I got a couple things that we give away for free. The first is our comment challenge. We're giving away a $10,000 value item at the end of the year, which is utilizing our resources. Like I said, we buy 200 houses a year. We have a rental portfolio of over $25 million, Brian, Lucas, and myself combined. And we do a lot in the real estate space: wholesaling, flipping, rehabbing, landlording, a ton of stuff, apartment complexes. We do just pretty much everything that is involved in real estate investing. And for this comment challenge, if you comment on our videos, your name gets put into a virtual hat. The more you comment, the better your chances of winning this are, and you get access to us for an entire day. We're drawing a name out of the hat at the end of this year, at the end of 2020, and whoever wins, they're either going to be able to come into our office for an entire day and ask any questions they have, access to our entire team to talk about whatever they want. We're going to spend a whole day focused on helping you grow your business or get you in the right mindset to grow your business. We've had people ask us to do this before and we said no, and then we thought, well, if we do it, we would probably charge $10,000, so we're gonna do it for free just for commenting. So comment on all the videos that you watch. I would really appreciate that. The second free thing that I'm giving away for you guys watching this long is go to freerentalwebinar.com. I put on a 90-minute webinar where I dig into details about everything that I've done to create my $11 million rental portfolio over the past 5 years. There's a ton of giveaways. There's a ton of ninja secrets that I give away in there. And at the end of it, you get a chance to schedule a call with me. You get a link to my calendar and you can schedule a call and we can talk one-on-one and try and help you grow your business and figure out if there's any way we can help you. Appreciate you watching. Catch you on the next one.